Thank you.
I'm going to do this first. Pass those down so those guys can look at them. He's ready. All right, we got 6:30. We'll go ahead. I'll call the meeting to order. Ask for roll call, please.
Here.
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 Here. Here.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we got minutes from the regular meeting November 10 and special meeting November 17 and December 1.
I move for approval of the regular meeting minutes of November 10th, the special meeting minutes of November 17th, and also December 1st as written.
Second.
All right, motion and a second then for approval of the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right. Thank you for those that are in attendance this evening. Thank you for those that are listening on YouTube. Appreciate being with us tonight. There is nobody signed up for public comment, and we will move on to looking for an motion for adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion and a second then to adopt the agenda for this evening. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right, moving right along, reports by admin. 8.1, GAP trip request.
Good evening, everyone. I have a number of trips looking for approval tonight. The first one is the GAP trip, or the German-American Partnership Program. In your packet, the large out-of-state field trips packet, the GAP program is on the back. I also submitted additional information that Jen Tunks provided me that she gives out to her families as well. The GAP trip has been taking place in BDHS since 1979. So it's pretty one of the longest running exchanges in the nation. Just this fall, we had the German students visiting us for 2 or 3 weeks, going to classes, getting involved with different events. I know some of them were going to practices and checking things out and just taking in the American high school experience. Now it's our turn to send our students to Germany. So I know this trip's been going on a number of different times. Fundraising, a lot of it's, the cost of the trip is produced by the students, as it is a choice decision, and they go through a rigorous process, application process and review process to make sure that if we're sending our students anywhere, especially across the pond, that the students are responsible and can handle that sort of trip.
I know my son had gone to Germany when he was in high school, and it was just a terrific opportunity to really use your German that you were learning and get to see how other people live. And I would recommend it for whatever student is available and able to pay the fee to go. It's worth it.
And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's an opportunity, right? And this is, as Ms. Tunks puts right at the front of the purpose, this is not a vacation. This is an opportunity to improve your German speaking skills, as well as get immersed into the culture. And I know they're not just hanging out at the house, hanging out at school. They get to also see a number of different things, part of the German heritage. Here in Wisconsin especially, where much of our culture is derived from German immigrants, it's a trip that's held in high regard for a very long time.
So Ryan, for the application process for students, do we have an administrator assigned to follow through with the application process? Or is it just intended that both Frau Tunks and Frau Tietz would be interviewing students and doing that process?
I have not been involved with it. It's been Frau Tunks and Tietz that have been part of that process, but I have not been involved with it.
Okay. I would just suggest that perhaps that get reviewed so that at least it's equitable to all students.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I think Ryan, given the fact that, as you dubbed it, they're going across the pond, and the significance of it, it's an added layer. Not to imply that things aren't great all the time, but just that added layer of fidelity, I think, would be wonderful.
Any other questions, comments?
No, I really appreciate the paperwork she put together for us. I thought it really answered a lot of the questions we would have had and was very thorough. So I would make a motion that we approve the trip as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second then to approve the GAP trip request as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right, onward.
The remaining trips in the out-of-state field trips packet that I submitted to you are for second semester. We really tried hard to get all of the remaining trips for the rest of the year on here, even if some of them are state or national level events that we don't know if we'll qualify for yet, or students will make that choice, but we're at least getting it on the agenda for approval in front of the board's eyes. So I've kind of tried to break it down. Key Club is asking for a trip to Sheboygan in March. The music department, Kyle Hendrickson specifically, taking the honors band down to Platteville for that event, which they've done a number of different times over the last couple of years. FFA has got a number of trips on here. The state FFA convention, the POA leadership retreat in St. Louis. Ms. Chitko has the WIFA state ice fishing tournament on there. Ice fishing, yes, we do have that. It operates within the FFA at this point. That was one of her things when she came over to start teaching here in Beaver Dam, and she asked if we could do that, and I said, sure. I said, who do you think will be part of it? She goes, well, our FFA people. I said, sounds like a great extension of that program. And then the FFA National Next Gen Conference in Chicago. Now, Mr. Gansky did say, again, he wanted to get these on the board's agenda. However, some of these trips will come down to qualification, whether students want to follow through and take the advantage. FCCLA has 3 trips on here. The FCCLA Capital Leadership Conference in Madison in January, the State Leadership Conference in the Dells, and then the National Leadership Conference, which is in Washington, D.C., which that's a cool trip.
What is FCCLA again?
That's our family and consumer ed.
Got it.
Items.
All right.
Speaking
Skills-
of excuse me, the last one, the Washington DC one, how many overnights? It's not marked on the sheet as far as the overnights.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was 7/6 through the, I think they get back the 10th. My mistake. So it's 4 days.
4 days?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Skills USA, which I'm very excited that we started last year. They're starting to build out their roster of events. The state skills event in April, and we just had a couple individuals perform very well at the regional event that was held last weekend in Slinger, that was in the newsletter that I sent out. And the national event down in Atlanta this year in June, we did have an individual qualified to it last year. He just chose not to go. Personal reasons for that. And then finally, and I thought I had this in it earlier this year, but I couldn't find it, but the girls hockey program will be going up to Hayward for a pretty exclusive tournament that is invite only, and it's probably the top 4 or 5 teams in the state that are invited to it each year. So it's an opportunity for them to get out and play with all the success they've had. So those are the trips. Oh, and then the gap trips on there. Those are the trips for second semester. I'll be back in May to talk about summer and others. So, any questions?
For that FCCLA, both the state and the national, is that whatever's budgeted through this district, is that per student or like total?
The national trip is per student. They do some fundraising. I've already been working with Linda Dykstra on different fundraising pieces of that. Again, when they start looking at national convention things, we do some, groups will do some larger fundraising things, as well as it comes down to choice. DEC has done that for years with, say, their national tournament that's usually down in Orlando.
Okay.
I really appreciate the variety. I mean, if somebody wants to get involved, there's pretty much no excuse not to. This across the board for interest. So that's some pretty amazing stuff in there.
Yeah, our CTSO program, which we've alluded to in the past, FCCLA, DECA, FBLA, which we don't have, but skills.
Ice fishing.
FFA, and ice fishing, yes.
Yeah.
We have a really robust offering, and when you look at the results each and every year, our teachers and our students are doing great work, and especially in things like FCCLA or Skills USA, they're learning skills that they can take right into the workforce, whether they go to the college route or they go to the career route. It's really fantastic what they're doing. So I'm really supportive of these groups and their continued success and opportunities.
Absolutely. I mean, the skills, even if they don't go into it as a career, they'll
Yeah.
be something they can always use. I make a motion we approve these trips as presented.
Second.
Excuse me. So we have a motion and a second then to approve the high school overnight trip request. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign.
I did want to say before I step away, the last time I was here, which was last month, and I'll be back next month for the School of the Month. Joanne, I believe you asked me when I did my fall recap, what is it that we could be doing to improve our opportunities here? And I did say at the time, our female offerings, our numbers were down. I'm very proud to report, actually tonight, our girls' basketball program was able to build a third level. So for the first time in a very long time, we have a JV2 girls program, which is competing down in Jefferson tonight. So it's a big step forward for that program and a great thing for all the people in the youth and the high school level that have worked to build that number. So I'm really happy and proud of those guys for that.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, 8.3, donation acceptance.
All right, we have one donation tonight. We're fortunate to have a donation from the Walmart Distribution Center this past month in the amount of $1,000. This donation was given to the National Honor Society at the high school, and its intent was to cover the Veterans Day breakfast. Because the donation was so large, it more than covered the breakfast, so there is some additional money that the NHS then is looking for different ways that they can pay it forward and continue to carry that money on throughout the year. So tonight, I'm asking the board to approve the donation of $1,000 to the NHS from the Walmart Distribution Center to cover the Veterans Day breakfast, and then the rest of the money would be allocated by the NHS as they see fit.
Questions or entertain a motion?
Also move to accept the donation from Walmart Distribution.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second then to accept the donation from Walmart. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, reports presented by the board. We always start out with our Board of Education student rep report, so I will turn it over to them.
All right, thanks for having us tonight. Starting off with FFA, our chapter just recently wrapped up their annual fruit sale. This fundraiser is a tradition for the program, and our students saw strong support from the community again. We appreciate everyone who purchased items and helped make a successful fundraiser. Key Club this month has had a particularly impactful month. Members assisted with food collection for our school district food drive, and I'm proud to report we set a brand new record this year as a district. We collected 11,480 pounds of food with $1,290 donated. This achievement reflects not only the service commitment of our students, but also the generosity of our families and community partners here in the district. Outside of the food drive, Key Club is participating in many different winter events. This includes ringing bells for the Red Kettle campaign. Last weekend, me and a few other members worked at Santa's Hometown Holiday Adventure, which was a super cool opportunity, and then a few other winter activities throughout the rest of this month.
DECA students have a sports marketing trip at the Herd Arena in Oshkosh next Tuesday. This experience kind of gives students the chance to learn how marketing, management, and event operations come together in a professional sports environment. Student Council had a field trip. A group of BDHS leaders attended the state State Student Council Leadership Conference at UW-Madison. Students spent the day participating in workshops, hearing from speakers, and collaborating with councils from across the state on what it means to be an effective leader. And personally, I was there, and it was just great to hear what other people were saying and what they were doing in their schools, and hopefully trying to bring that back until BDHS.
Our athletic programs continue to have a very strong start to their winter seasons. The girls' basketball team is currently 4-0, 1-0 in conference play, showing great energy and teamwork. The boys' basketball team picked up a notable win last Friday, defeating Monona Grove 64-56. It was a super competitive game and fun to watch, and the team continues to build some momentum here in this early season. Also, shout out to senior EJ Saltel, who's just 8 points away from reaching 1,000 points, and only 8 BDHS alumni have completed this record so far.
The girls' hockey team earned a solid victory against Medford on December 4th. The players have been working hard and are excited for the rest of their season. Swim also has their first meet tomorrow at Wanakee, while wrestling is just starting their season. We're looking forward to see what all these teams accomplish this winter.
Our performing arts programs have a full and exciting schedule this month. We've kicked things off with the a cappella concert last Friday, and next up we have the band concert on December 10th, the choir concert on the 11th, and then the orchestra and jazz band concert on December 15th. These concerts always showcase the incredible talent and hard work of our music department students and staff.
Across the district, several elementary concerts have already taken place, and more are coming up. These performances are a wonderful way for our younger students to build confidence and share their growth with their families. I also want to highlight the tremendous success of the fall musical Brigadoon. It seems like it was so far away, but it was just last month. We saw outstanding participation from students and a large turnout from community members. Special recognition goes to Mr. Lefebvre, the director, along with the entire cast and crew for producing a fantastic show and dedicating countless hours to the production.
Additionally, on the academic side, parent-teacher conferences were held at the middle school on December 4th, and the high school conferences are scheduled for December 11th. These meetings provide valuable opportunities for families and teachers to stay connected as we move into the second half of the school year.
Finally, winter break is fast approaching, and we would like to wish happy holidays to all who celebrate. Thank you.
All right, questions, comments for our student reps?
Covered a lot of ground.
Very thorough.
Thank you.
Very thorough.
All right, I think the most important thing out of there, I think, is the food drive. I think you guys and all the other students do an awesome job of collecting that food every year, and it's nice to see that we set a record this year, so thanks. All right, we did not have committees, but we do want to allow the operations committee to discuss the referendum project monthly update.
Yes, I guess I'd like to first invite Joanne and John to share any referendum project updates that there might have been.
Yeah, we had our first meeting on site, and the day we met, they were just really getting going and starting to put together the forms for pouring some concrete. And they've, since then, every time I drive by, there's a little more there. So work continues to proceed with that. And I had a chance to look around the site, and it's just really exciting to see this coming together and the plan really coming together. But there wasn't too much to look at, and there was a lot of talk about just bidding things. So that's all I have to report on that.
John, do you have anything to add?
No, I did not make that meeting.
Okay. Brian, do you have something to add on?
Yeah, so the middle school, as Joanne said, the site work is commencing. Concrete is being poured for footings and foundations. Bids are starting to come in for the first round of the building, specifically like electrical, plumbing, HVAC. And then underground utilities are going to begin likely at the beginning of January. And obviously, there's some snow removal going on at that site as well right now. So at Washington, the Commons addition and the vestibule entrance are pretty much complete here. Punch lists will begin this week. And then over the holiday break, we'll be moving all the furniture from the old Commons into the new Commons. They'll be building a wall in the old Commons so that they can work in that and separate the construction staff from our students and our Washington staff, and then they'll begin on that in January. The kitchen appliances are installed. We're still waiting on a couple sinks, the hot wells, which will likely come in that first week when students return. But the health inspection for the Washington kitchen is scheduled for December 22nd. After we pass that, they will move into that new area beginning on January 5th when students return from the break. As far as the district projects, the turf is complete for the softball and the batting cages. All concrete at the high school athletic complex is complete. The binder layer was put down on the north parking lot over by the JV softball field. The east football lights, there's still a couple poles that are going to be coming down in as soon as the ground's hard enough from being frozen, and then the crane can get out there. There's some electrical work that'll continue through the end of December. And about 10% of the fencing still needs to occur, and that'll occur in January as well. And then in the spring, they'll wrap up the final landscaping to complete that project. Troy and I have also had initial discussions on the RFPs for Lincoln and for Washington's playgrounds, and we'll likely put those out at the beginning of January. The playground business has their big national convention in January. Typically, there's some pretty good deals that come out of that convention on some newer products. We took advantage of that last year at Prairie View and, at Jefferson. So we'll likely see some of those bids have that piece in it as well. And just to touch on the local spending portion of the referendum, right now local spending at the middle school currently exceeds $50,000. That is going to grow exponentially over the coming months. Local spending at Washington for phase 1 and 2 combined is over $1 million. 2 is over $420,000 just for phase 2.
I understand too that there'll be a lot of signage involved at the athletic field.
Yes.
And that will direct people through that complex.
Yep, so we met, Mr. Gerber, Troy and I met to discuss the signage, and we're putting together a plan, and then we'll go and contact local sign companies. And we're planning on having signage at all the parking lots at the high school, the ESC, and then the surrounding complex. We'll have some signage for the gates and names for the gates, and then we'll have just where do you go type of signage, stop signs, enter, exit, that sort of thing, so. And we're hoping to have that installed right away in the spring. We'll get it in the winter and then put it in right when the ground thaws, so.
Nice, thank you.
Just, thanks, Ryan. Just want to expand a little bit. Ryan talked about some of the bid process that we're working through. So some of the first initial MEP major bids, we're hoping to make a decision on end of this week or early the following week. But just to reiterate, obviously cost is a significant factor when we're considering those bids, but we're also weighing experience. And then a big factor for us is local workforce. So we take time to meet with those MEP providers, people that put in bids, understand their workforce. They actually go through a process. They're identifying what zip codes different members of those workforce are going to be working from. And again, so we're trying to balance all those pieces, but we're really optimistic that we're going to have a lot of local people, or at least people that spend money and maybe drive to and commute to Beaver Dam in the surrounding area, be part of this project. That's an important piece for us.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, Marge? So again, committees will not meet this month. Committees will meet January 26th, I believe.
26th.
Is our next date for committees. We did have a board workshop on November 17th. The workshop focused on learning more about the district's student services. And so really, if we look at student services, we're looking at health services, student counselors, student psychologists, social workers, program support teachers. And Ms. Sponholz, Director of Student Services, introduced a few members of that team to the board that evening. Mrs. Brazelow from high school social worker, Ms. Conity from middle school social worker, Ms. Call from elementary school psychologist, and Ms. Schumann, middle school program support teacher. And those individuals reported out on the services and programs that they and other members of the student services team provide, including comprehensive services necessary to support student development in the academic, career, personal, social areas, as well as address barriers to learning. And really, they talked about 8 main components that they use to provide those services, including assessment, screening, and evaluation, individual and small group student services, homeschool collaboration, classroom instruction, collaboration and partnership with community-based systems, other services for staff, program and resource development, management, and evaluation, along with systems and policy changes. Each of those individuals gave some examples of the specific services they provide within the Beaver Dam Unified School District, and allowed the board to ask questions and comments based on those services. And really, I thought it was a really good workshop. You know, we go through and we talk about academics all the time, we talk about all these other things, but sometimes we forget about all those services that these individuals provide to our students and staff every single day. And for me, you know, when we got done with that workshop, it's all encompassing. Like when they got done talking about all the services they provide and the importance of those services, it really makes you think about, you know, how we're in a good place here in Beaver Dam, knowing that these individuals are providing those services for students and staff. So with that, I'd open it up to any other comments or questions that came out from the board.
I just have a comment. I know in the past, Churchill Services was really involved with student services and things like that, but things had changed there. They lost a lot of people who were working at Churchill Services, and they're just trying to rebuild their staff again. And that's partly why they have not committed so much to working with the school district on some of the issues that the student services had been looking at. So I know Mary Vogel-Rauscher is now in charge of Churchill Services, and she said that they hope to get back to there, but right now it's starting over kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true, Marge, and I think what's commendable too then on our end is how hard our student services team has worked to make sure those services are still being provided and still accessible. They've just had to be a little bit more creative and develop some other partnerships in the meantime. But we've always appreciated the services they have provided and look forward to them maybe being able to do more again in the future.
I really wanted to thank the staff that came that night, and Tiffany Sponholtz and you for the way that you set up that workshop. I can't remember doing anything like that before, where we really had a chance to not only hear from Mrs. Sponholtz, but about a number of the staff members that are working with the students. And we had a dedicated time to really talk about the pupil services and the services they do. So I really appreciated that workshop, and I thought it was time really well spent.
Good.
Yeah, I agree with Joanne. It was just a really meaningful time. We learned a lot.
All right, any other final comments? All right, sounds good. We will move on to 9.5, board engagement recognitions. Opportunity for the board to share engagement opportunities and recognitions throughout the school district. So with that, I'd open up to the board.
I just had one thing. I went to the boys basketball game the other night against Monona Grove, and I agree with Carter. That was an exciting game. That varsity team it's a scrappy team, fast moving. So it was good to see them get a victory out of that.
I was able to go to the Brigadoon musical. I gave the pre-show announcements that night. The lights are so bright. I'm not an actor. Really good show, fun. The Scottish, dancing. I got corrected once. I went to the Paddle City Band concert, which a few of our teachers participate in, which is nice to kind of see them. They're out of their element, but they're in their element with their music friends. And then I went to the a cappella concert too Friday night, and then I bought some FFA fruit. So the best golden delicious apples.
Anybody else?
I also saw Brigadoon, brought back memories from 1980-something when I was in the stage crew for that one. Yeah, it was a great show, well done. And I had a chance to pop into the FFA room Saturday and see some of their hometown holiday adventure stop. So I got to go through that with my grandkids and see how the FFA students were sharing their animals and big and small snakes, and the kids had an opportunity to hold a snake, and there's a fish and a turtle and a mini horse and some cows and everything, so chickens. So it was pretty cool, and they were doing a great job, and a ton of kids were going through there and really enjoying their experience. And I think that was a lot of their favorite stop for the day, so good job to the FFA.
All right. Mark?
Just a couple things. First, robotics. Melissa Hemling did a great job of putting out a presser recently on this. I believe it was this past weekend. Middle school, the Beaver Bites team earned the Peer Award for their outstanding sportsmanship and teamwork. And then Beaver Builders earned a top 3 score in engineering and innovation, placed 8th overall. So that advanced them to the sectionals in Waukesha. So that's great. Great for the program. Great to have multiple teams in robotics at both the high school and middle school level in our district. Kudos to everybody involved in the Red Kettle concert yesterday at the high school. Joanne leads that, so round of applause for Joanne and that. Also, a lot of staff involved. So we have a lot of staff, just as Heather alluded to, a lot of staff just involved in community engagement, particularly as it relates to expression of music talent in our community. And a couple of key retired, since passed on staff members from Beaver Dam actually were key in founding that Red Kettle event. So super special for that. Want to echo the sentiments that Carter shared regarding music and all the different events in our district, our students and our staff this time of year, concerts and outreach that brings a lot of good positive vibes throughout our community. So I want to thank them. Last month, our district was honored by the Wisconsin School Public Relations Association with a Spectrum Award of Excellence for our work with school communications. This was specific to outreach and community engagement with last year's referendum campaign. So it's nice to be recognized among our peers for countless hours in outreach that went into engaging our community. And a special thanks again to Mary Postema for everything that she did in the background. She loves recognition. Associated with that, she was a key cog in that award, and I believe it was Mary and Nicole represented us at that event. So picture was much better than if it was other people, I'm sure. And then just on behalf of the board, Ryan, just to re-echo our thanks to the distribution center for that contribution. The distribution center has, I think, since as long as I've been here, just always kind of found a way to infuse, contributions or other outreach, support other outreach in our district and our community. And I know they employ a number of parents and other community members. So I just want to reiterate that. Thanks. That's all I have.
Can I add one more?
Yeah, of course.
I just have to mention Greg, who's quietly sitting over there, making sure everybody can see us. He works with crazy people like me when we're trying to put on a show, and all the teachers that really know what they're doing, and the community, anything that happens in the auditorium, from Beaver Dam Area Orchestra, Community Choir, Red Kettle Concert, and all the school concerts and shows, and all the shows of Brigadoon, you have to be responsible for probably 30 shows in 2 months between all the things going on, and I really shout out because you make us all sound good. And people can see us with the lights, so thank you for all you do to keep that auditorium running.
I have to agree with Joanne on that. And in fact, the Beaver Dam Area Orchestra, we had a concert at the end of November, and our next one is this Saturday. And Greg takes care of everything for that, but we do have about 8 students who are on the Beaver Dam Area Orchestra this year. And if anyone who will be graduating in April, they'll get a scholarship from the Beaver Dam Area Orchestra as well. So it's kind of nice to have that connection there as well.
I move the board recess in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 19.85, paren 1, paren C, considering employment, promotion, and compensation and performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically to discuss specific employees.
Second?
All right, motion and a second to move into closed session. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, we will be in closed session and reconvene for finish of business. All right, we got everybody back. We are back in open session. Move on to 12.1.
There are no resignations or retirement for your consideration tonight.
And 12.2.
Leaves of absence, there are 7 for your consideration.
I move the board approve the leaves of absence as presented.
Second.
All right, motion and second then to approve the leaves of absence as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right, 12.3.
Of those leaves of absence you just approved, we have 3 long-term subs for you to consider. One is Julia Bell, 4th grade teacher for Jefferson Elementary School, long-term sub from December 1st until TBD. Alicia Bishop, computer science teacher for the middle school, long-term sub position from February 17th, 2026 to June 5th, 2026. And Heidi Meehan, grade 5 teacher for Washington Elementary School, long-term sub from January 22nd to April 27th.
I move the board approve the appointments as presented.
Second.
All right, motion and second to approve the appointments as presented. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
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 Thank you.
Thank you. And 13.1, payment of claims.
I move for payment and claims in the amount of $4,428,901.77.
Second.
All right, motion and second then to approve payment of claims. Roll call vote again, please.
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
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 All right, look for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and second for adjournment. All in favor, say aye.
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 All those not, same sign.